Hello friends, welcome back. This is Self-Critical Automaton, and I'm playing more Dark Souls. This is a landmark episode. This is episode 50. And, yeah, I don't have anything particularly special I'm gonna do, but I'm really pleased that I've made it this far, that I've reached 50 episodes in a thing that I wasn't sure I could do at all. So, we're gonna fight some bosses today. But first we're going to go open a shortcut, because shortcuts are always good to open. And, I hate these things. But, yeah, Black Knight Sword's working out well. I'm not quite used to how slow it is yet, but, you know, I did spend my entire first playthrough of this game using it, so there is a bit of muscle memory coming back. And I'm glad it just one-shots these things. Yeah, so I have remembered, like, a big theory thing that I was going to talk about, but, I'll leave that for a minute. First, I'm going to talk about an interesting thing that occurred to me after I finished recording the last episode, and, basically, I spoke last time about how, possibly unintentionally, due to the inspirations for the visual design of these areas, specifically Izalith and Anor Londo, it kind of feels like Izalith is significantly older because it's inspired by architecture in the real world that is significantly older than that of Gothic Christianity. Remember when I was talking about... this is an aside, but remember when I was talking about lifts? Yeah, here we have a blatantly magic lift, and it behaves like a magic lift. It's a nice contrast to just how physically mechanical the other lifts were. Anyway, this takes us up to the Pale Lady's bonfire, so step back on this. It still has a satisfying clunky trigger, but it's, you know, levitating. And presumably this is powered in some way by pyromancy or flame sorcery, considering that that was the domain of, or rather, the skill of the followers of the Witch of Izalith. I'm only saying that because it did a little red glow and little fiery, sparky things. Anyway, yeah. So, the architecture of, the Khmer architecture of, and Dravidian architecture of Izalith is, you know, older, so Izalith feels older, even though that Izalith and Anor Londo should be roughly contemporary to one another. But yeah, so I was thinking about this, and then it occurred to me that while that could easily be an unintentional side effect of the inspirations they chose to take, I think that one very deliberate choice they made here was one deliberate choice relating to the use of these two particular architectures in their particular respective locations in the game, is that essentially, culturally speaking, we're trained to see Christian divine architecture as pure, holy and noble. And this is, you know, due to hundreds of years of culture and pop culture reinforcing these sort of implications. But similarly, the past couple of hundred years of pop culture and adventure literature and exotification of the East means that those of us brought up on you know, Western adventure stories and Western media in general have an instinctual feeling that this particular kind of architecture is somehow primitive or sinister. I'm not saying that there's any reason... I'm not saying that this architecture is sinister or these cultures are sinister. I'm saying that we are prejudiced this way by the culture that we... like, the culture that we consume over the course of our lives influences our instinctual reactions to things, and that I think possibly The, hello, Solaire. Good to see you. Okay, so basically, I was talking before about how the feeling of Anor Londo, this grand, beautiful marble palace up on the top of the world, and how you arrive there after having slogged through the most horrible, grossest parts of the world, it just unconsciously prejudices you towards trusting what you are told by the people living in that place. I think similarly, the reason they've chosen Khmer architecture for Izalith is because, you know, 100 years of Indiana Jones and pulp serials and adventure stories where, you know, the Far East is at best mysterious and exotic, and at worst, you know, primitive and evil, is to invoke that subconscious prejudice so that we instinctively trust Anor Londo and instinctively distrust the oh bugger, I forgot to equip the... Oh, hold on. No, you get it from fighting this thing, don't you? Yeah, basically, I feel like I've made some kind of terrible mistake. I don't have the orange charred ring, do I? But, yeah. So yeah, this is the centipede demon, which, as I mentioned, was that statue which came to life. If he throws me in the... Is he just going to eat me? Oh, gross. Put me down at once! Yeah, this is actually a really bad position to fight it, but I'm not sure I can make it to the other position safely. Oh, fuck, he got me again. Yeah, okay, that was bit of a mediocre showing on my part, but yeah, wow. There's a much better arena to fight it just around the corner, but I thought you could only reach it with a ring that you only get for beating this guy, so my brain went a bit weird. Anyway, what I was saying was that the designers of this game very deliberately invoke those subconscious prejudices in order to prejudice us in favour of Anor Londo, who tells us, as I've been saying before, that, you know, we are special, we are the chosen one who's going to take the place of God. We should do everything they tell us, because it's the best for us, and the best for the world. And, you know, why would we think they're lying? I spoke a lot about that before, I think. Similarly, we just assume that, like, the visual design cues, you know, it's underground, it's full of lava and demons, so we assume that in the duality of these various powerful forces, that this must be hell, and must be the evil place, the dark underground evil place. So, but of course, in the evidence of their actions, there's not actually any of that. Like, and this ties into the great betrayal of the game, which I did talk about before, quite a while back. Anyway, yeah. So I'm going to jump over this lava. Yeah, lava does a ton of damage, but it doesn't instantly kill you. Can I make it over here? There we go. This is a much better place to fight it, because you've got actual dodging room. Yeah, Solaire is a fucking badass. He just trots straight through the lava. maybe on the alternate world playthrough that is Solaire's run. He's already got the orange charred ring, and then he's come into my world to help me fight this thing. But he's already killed his one. Oh! So yeah, Centipede Demon, it's kind of a horrible mess. It's interesting that it's actually a bipedal creature. You can see it's got two legs, and then just a bunch of, like, demon-y tentacle things over the top. Ouch. I'm not doing very well, am I? Come on, Solaire, tank for me. Is it going to come close enough that I can even hit the damn thing? Apparently not. Is that its only attack? I know it has more attacks. It just... Maybe I should be shooting it with arrows or something. I know I need to slash it when it does the slam, but... Can I... Okay, you know what? I'm just going to throw a fireball. Ah, here we go. Now I can hit it. Maybe so I can stab you in the legs. Oh fuck, it's in an animation. I hate that. You can't hurt it when it's in an animation, which is kind of bullshit, and it's one of the few really bullshit, like really bullshit things in Dark Souls. Uh-oh. So, I mustn't forget to continue talking about this whole architecture thing. But yeah, like I was saying, we are prejudiced against Izalith and in favour of Londo. But, and here's the real like core thing that I was going to be saying. That duality is not the cosmic duality that we think it is. We see Anor Londo, grand Christian architecture, holiness, light. We see Izalith full of monsters and, you know, architecture that is in reality beautiful and intricate and detailed, but that which pop culture has taught us to see as you know, primitive or evil. And come on, last hit. There we go. Suck it, centipede. See, there's the orange charred ring, which lets us run across lava. Thanks for the assist, Solaire. You are the broest knight. So yeah, orange charred ring is here somewhere. There it is. Orange ring enchanted by a witch reduces lava damage. Since his sores were inflamed by lava from birth, his witch sisters gave him this special ring, but fool that he is, he readily dropped it. And from that spot a terrible centipede demon was born. So yeah, that seems to imply that the centipede demon is the only demon that's not directly born from the bed of chaos. However, it is still sort of implicitly born from the bed of chaos because the bed of chaos is what became of the Witch of Izalith. The Witch of Izalith, Ceaseless Discharge was her only son. And what's this? This is strangely familiar if you think about it, because what did we find at the entrance to Anor Londo? We found that it was bricked up, that it was sealed. Here, similarly, we find the entrance to Izalith is sealed, although not by any mortal hand. So, yeah. However, there is a convenient tunnel over here, which possibly the centipede demon burrowed. You know, since this is near its lair or whatever. Hello, Solaire. It's good to see you. You're my favourite.
Why? Why? After all this searching, I still cannot find it. Why? After all this searching.
I think that's all he says here. Oh, there's a bonfire as well. Did I? Oh, I forgot to pick up my bloodstain. Did I die again? I don't think I did. My bloodstain should still be here, and it had like 60 grand in it, so I should probably go grab that. One of the other visual design things that I really like is that, as you can see, is that my buzz? Oh, there it is. No wonder I didn't see it. Is that, like, a lot of people complain about the lighting down here, this horrible orange glare. But this is actually a really clever effect. I've never seen lava in a game actually look hot. I've never seen lava in a game that actually looks like just the unbearable baking heat. And the way they've achieved this blistering glare, like, it actually hurts my eyes to look at it, is simply through the bloom glow coming off of it. Like, that's not actually any brighter than my screen is generally, but it fools the eye into thinking that it's looking at a really bright surface. which is just cool, you know, it's clever and interesting. It's a good idea. Get some more vitality. One more level of that and I will probably stop leveling it up. Right, so now we are actually inside the Grand Dome of Izalith. And yeah, what was I saying? I was talking about lava. Lava's great. This is the only lava I've ever seen in a video game that actually looks like lava, although, of course, it does not behave like lava, because lava is so hot that you can't get near it. Or at least lava that glows like this, at any rate. Like, convection exists. Like, you can't get within 10 meters of a lava flow that's like this in real life. Probably you can't even get much, like, without wearing shitloads of protective gear and, immediately dying if you're not careful. So yeah, this is kind of weird. There's just a shitload of dragon butts here. These are the rear halves of dragons. Why? I don't know. It's very strange. But they do a lot of damage, so what I tend to do is stand over here and then shoot them with arrows until I've cleared a bunch of them out, but that might take a little while. So, and we're back. So, yeah, I've only killed a few of them, but there are quite a lot. They don't respawn, though, conveniently. Yeah, so, like, at first I thought they were, like, some kind of, like, giant bipedal lizardy things, but they are actually, you know, they are the model of, like, the graphics model of the back half of the zombie dragon. Why this is, I do not know. But there's a lot of them, and they are quite a threat. Hopefully I can make it to this towery island bit in the middle without getting stomped. But yeah, no, they are the back half of a dragon. Back half of a zombie dragon, specifically. Why there are the back halves of zombie dragons here, I do not know. Perhaps, you know, this is just where their carcasses were thrown after. Like, I mean, we know Anor Londo kept the heads because there was a room full of dragon heads, but you know, trophies up on the wall. So perhaps the carcasses were just thrown down here. But then why is it only the back halves? The answer, in actuality, is basically that, if I remember correctly, this was one of the areas of the game that got the least development time. I might be mistaken. But yeah, so what I was saying about the duality thing before I sort of trailed off was that if you remember the duality of, you know, light and dark and life and death, light and dark oppose one another, but darkness is the furtive pygmy, and life and death oppose one another, but life is the Witch of Izalith. So it's interesting that we get conceivably 2 active and 2 passive pairings. Oh wow, okay. Back off a little bit. Izalith is mostly content to live down here in her underground, you know, or was rather, before she became what she is now. Was content to live here in this underground kingdom. Similarly, Gravelord Nito didn't particularly give a shit about anything other than the dead. Why does he care for what the living are doing? He has his own realm, to which the living are not privy, so why should he care? Why should it matter? But, which would leave light of Anor Londo and darkness of the furtive pygmy to be active partners. However, the furtive pygmy disappeared, and I'll probably talk about this more later, but it's kind of a grand plan to subvert the quote-unquote natural order of existence, because that meant that essentially Anor Londo was unopposed. Anor Londo had the entire world to itself. That's why they became the gods. That's why, you know, the entire world bows at the feet of Anor Londo. That's why Anor Londo is so desperate to prolong the Age of Fire, because it's the age of Anor Londo's supremacy. It is also the age of the power of the four Lord Souls, but of those four Lord Souls, it's Gwyn, it's Anor Londo that has supremacy, that has worship and control of the world. That can, yeah. So, I think again. Okay, what I'm saying basically is that left a vacuum. And after Izalith's great mistake, and she became the bed of chaos, that's when a false duality appeared between Izalith and Anor Londo, because the Silver Knights are supposedly the great protectors of mankind. Gwyn's servants, but also those who fight against the demons of Izalith. But this is functionally not, you know, this is not a cosmically mandated conflict. This is simply because, you know, Izalith fucked up, and now there's monsters fucking pouring out of this underground hell place. But like, it's not hell because of any kind of inherent cosmic good and evil duality. It's simply that you know, Anor Londo has better PR, you know, and you know, didn't actually turn into demons, because the demons, of course, aren't actually, you know, the people of Izalith. They're not Izalith's, the Witch of Izalith's, you know, her lot. Because she no longer exists as an entity, because she became the bed of chaos. There we go. So yeah, this was the thing that I was talking about having forgotten, but when I said it to whichever friend it was I was talking about it with, I definitely put it in much more eloquent and detailed terms. I probably wrote about 400 words, like a minute or something, you know. It was a good couple thousand words all told, about this, you know, thing. Anyway, so people assume that the conflict between Anor Londo and Izalith is part of this sort of grand cosmic system, but it's really not. It's something that's arisen naturally due to the machinations and events that have occurred, not due to any kind of cosmic balance. So yeah, lots more butts. Very nearly at the end of today's episode. I'm just going to get to a bonfire, which is right underneath me. To humanity is always useful. There's a couple of items around here, but you have to clear out all the dragon butts. What dragon butt? As you can see, there's two over there. I think there might be another one, but I might be misremembering. But yeah, I'm not gonna do that right now. I'll probably do it before next episode, just so you guys don't have to, you know, watch me run around fighting orange things. Anyway, so you paying attention? Are you looking closely? Boom! It's a secret door. This is the closest bonfire to the bed of chaos. There's one zone left, Inner Izalith over there. We'll be heading through that next episode, and yeah, then we'll be fighting the boss. I'm just going to level up 30 vitality. I probably won't level it up much more than that. Should be enough to see me through to the end of the game. Excuse me. So yeah, as always, my friends, it has been a pleasure. I will... Whoopsie daisy. I will see you again tomorrow. Bye then.